The Ones Who Live, episode 4, now out. So let's talk about it.
Burn it.
Okay, so the newest episode of The Ones Who Live. It's just a weird title, but whatever. It is. That's what it is. Anyway, episode 4 is now out, so you guys can go and check that out. And I love the first 3 episodes. I feel like this is coming back to traditional Walking Dead, the stuff that made me fall in love with the show. And episode 4 is easily the best episode of the series so far, in my opinion. This episode was fantastic. Now, this isn't the high-octane action episode where they're out there fighting all the walkers. You know, we're watching them kill them and go through this hardship that they're trying to do, surviving as much as they can. It's not that. This episode is all about breaking down the character of Rick and what he's gone through for the last, 8 years or something like that. What he's gone through, the mental state he is in, and how brainwashed he is right now. Now, even you could be the strongest, mentally the strongest person out there. But if you are taken against your will and put in the same scenario that Rick is, there's going to be some effects on you. And this is what this episode deals with. It deals with Michonne diving right into the back of the brain, the back of the memory, back of any mental state that Rick has, and bringing out what the main issue is, why he feels like that, and trying to bring him back to her side. Because, remember, they fell out of the helicopter last episode. So they land in the water, they get to this apartment, the helicopter that they were in crashed into the building. And this is where Michonne notices, we have a way out now. They think we're dead. The helicopter's crashed. So, we're dead, we can go home. But Rick's not having that. Rick's constantly always talking about, I can't go. I have to stay, because if I don't stay, they're going to kill everyone that I love. Because he's had this threat happen to him before. If you leave, we know everything. Janice is like, I know everything about you. I know where everyone is. I will kill them all. So you have him constantly in this mental state of, I have to be the one to stay back so that you guys can all live peacefully. And he stands by that throughout the whole entire episode. Like, this is what has to be. And to a degree, I understand where Rick's coming from. I understand if he has to stay behind in order to keep his family alive, most of us, probably all of us, would do it. We would do that. But then you got to look at from Michonne's side as well. And I love, Michonne is so badass in this episode. There's one comment that she makes about him being a soldier, like this really defensive formations and stuff like that. It was hilarious. I love Michonne. She wasn't taking any shit from Rick. She was giving it to him. She was trying to figure out the root of this problem. And as we continue through the whole entire episode, we just see Rick not budging. Not budging. And Michonne's like, you're lying to me. You're lying to yourself. What is the real reason? And then when she tells Rick about the son that they had, and she's like, you don't even want to know him. You don't even want to know anything about him. So I'm going to go tell him that. So then we get the moment where we finally get to understand what is actually going on with Rick and why he's like that. And when there's this very emotional scene where Rick opens up about his dreams that he's been having, the stuff that's been getting him through all these years, when he's been in captive, when he's been turned into a soldier, the thing that's been getting him through all this stuff is the dreams he's been having. And he talks about Carl, how he's having the dream with Carl, and he's always there, and that's how he was getting through. And then one day he just vanished. He forgot what Carl looked like because he hadn't seen him, hadn't seen a picture or anything like that. And it's really devastating, because just imagine if you're in that situation and you go going through all that stuff, and then you just can't remember your own kid. Like, you can't remember that. And then he talks about how Michonne came into the dream, and he was, falling in love with her and that, and then she started to disappear. But it's the key thing here that I thought was, it's incredible what they did here. With the writing, just everything. The performance from Andrew Lincoln, top tier. When he talks about, I had learned to die and live at the same time. And now that Michonne's back in, he says, I believe that if I can think that you're out there living longer than me, then I can continue dying while living at the same time. But if you're here and I lose you again, I'm not going to survive that. I'm not going to make it through. And it's just so powerful what Rick is saying here, how he's able to numb himself to the point where he feels like he's actually dead, but he's a living corpse. It's so incredible. The writing is so good in that moment, in that scene, to showcase you what Rick was able to do to keep himself going is by killing himself on the inside and becoming a living zombie, basically. It's just incredible writing. It really is. And that line is, I learned to die and live at the same time. It's incredible. And the fact that he believes if he loses Michonne one more time, like, just, she's gone. Because he talks about how he's lost everyone. Like, all these people. He's lost Carl. He's lost so many people along this journey that if he loses the person that he loves the most, it's going to fully break him and he's not going to survive. He can't live any longer. And this is where we start to break down the walls of the Rick character. A guy that we all grew to love for being the leader, being the one that put everyone else before himself and that. And now we see the toll of all those years, the toll of the previous 8 years of this captivity that he's been in, come to the forefront here. And it was just incredible. It really was. And this is where Michonne is like, we need to go. We need to make a choice. And this is where they decide they're going to finally go home. Rick's gone. And you know that's what's happening as soon as Rick doesn't have the gear on anymore. And I'm like, yes, here we go. And then you get this moment where they finally have each other. And you can just feel the emotion. You can feel the chemistry throughout the whole entire sequence when they're killing the zombies and moving forward. But then obviously they get in the car and then they drive off, and we get a little sneak preview of next week's episode, which is going to be absolutely mental by the looks of it. But again, this episode was just, it's all about the characters, man. It's all, like, this is what I mean. To make good movies and TV shows, you don't need to have action. Like, I love action. Yes, I do. But when you can have a room with two characters just talking, that is a sign of great TV and great shows and great writing. Two characters in a room talking about their feelings, breaking each other's barriers down, and reconnecting. This episode was just incredible. It really was incredible. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe you guys didn't like it as much as I did, but if you did, that's awesome as well. So smash your comments down in the section below. Smash your comments in the section below. Smash your comments down below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.